Of course, we all experience pain, loss, and all these things, but something left unresolved. Well, the thing is that one of the benefits of cultivating the Dharma, Dharma practice internally, is that we learn to let go and to purify, to also to develop insight. So in that way, there's no hurt left. Actually, this isn't the first time I was asked this question. I was asked this at a morning assembly in a school in England once, and the truth is, I never really gave it a whole lot of thought because I didn't really want a different role in life. However, like I said in England, I guess if I had to choose a different vocation, then maybe a writer or a director. And since I had many ideas when I was much younger about stories that I would like to bring to life. But then again, as things worked out, I did end up doing some writing, although non-fiction, of course, and directing, but just short films on Dharma that sometimes we share online. So yeah, really not much of a pull to dream of a different kind of life. It's mostly Dharma stuff, but I do the Marichi Fellowship work. Oh, that doesn't count. The thing is that by integrating the Dharma in daily life, we aim to practice in all our activities, so everything becomes wholesome, because it become part of our development of wisdom and compassion. So even ordinary activities, projects and so on, become Dharma. So no, I didn't really find any challenges in that way. And there are ordinary things that I like to do sometimes. For example, I really enjoy cooking. I like making apple pies with my grandmother, Dayan Chimama, whenever I go visit her. And I like getting my family, my extended family and friends, to spend time together, come together and make lunch for them, make dinner for them, like veg momos and so on. Just to be clear, I'm not saying I'm a good cook, but I do enjoy trying, making something to share. Oh, my childhood was great. My father was the first Tibetan born in America, so I was born in Seattle, but I moved to India from when I was still very young. I didn't go straight to a monastery. I started in a remote rural area called Kamrao in Himachal Pradesh, where my maternal family lives. So I went to live with them. I could be almost anonymous there. So even though I went to receive teachings from my gurus in the monasteries for periods of time, I would come back to the village and could run around outside and just like a regular boy. I was pretty much kind of a simple village boy. Gradually, tutors were appointed to provide my initial training, but I didn't leave the village to live in monasteries until way later. So my early years were in a simple village, running around, playing around, and even milking cows, helping birth the calves with my maternal grandmother, and so on. Oh, I had loads of fun. I had toys, I had, friends, playmates, cartoons, although limited, but we did have those. And lived with a lot of nature around me, which I loved. Oh yes, I mean, there's the side where we develop self-reliance from our practice, but that's always supported by our spiritual teachers and friends, which is what the Buddha emphasized. I feel very fortunate that I have always got someone that I can completely trust and turn to when I need. And thanks to modern technology, like the internet and phone, I don't think I've ever been in a situation where I don't have someone to talk to. Someone once made a cool t-shirt that said, "My grandfather is my hero," written on the front. So I've got to say that all my gurus are my real superheroes. But if you mean like the fictional superheroes that from movies and comics and so on, then I would have to say Captain America, because he's not only brave, but he seems to be very altruistic and believes very strongly in what's right. I don't have any particular hobbies that I do regularly, but there are activities that I like to do from time to time. Like sometimes I like to take my friends, like the monks who live with us, to some places, fun, like take them hiking, or I show them a film that they enjoy watching, and I translate it into Tibetan for them too, so they can understand properly. So yeah, things like that. I get more happiness from bringing happiness to others, and so yeah, that's why I like focusing on the Dharma more. No, I can't think of anything. I mean, we all get scared in life sometimes, but from meditation practices, our fears can melt away, so we're not haunted by anxieties anymore. With Dharma study and practices, especially one focused on developing positive emotions like compassion, we develop a lifestyle that's less stressful, as the inner resources are emphasized rather than outer short-term ways to relieve stress. So I find a regular meditation practice really helpful. Also, of course, sometimes I get tired from traveling and I need a good night's sleep. And if a particular problem needs attention, I find it really helpful to talk it over with those who I trust. But mainly, the regular Dharma study and practice is something that that I found most helpful. There's a lot of Buddhist holy places that that mean a lot to me, but my favorite has to be Sakya in Tibet. I know that might seem a bit biased, but when I got the chance to visit Tibet, I didn't know what to expect, when and how I would feel. So when I got to Sakya, I instantly felt it was amazing, something amazing. Like, this is my home, and the impact of seeing all the previous great masters, like my ancestors, the monuments and the places where they taught, they wrote, they did retreats. It all aligned a deep sense of connection, for me. So yes, Sakya has got to be my favorite place. What kind of people I'm afraid to deal with? I don't think I've ever felt afraid to meet with anyone. At least not yet. Maybe I've just been lucky. But then firstly, I never think of it as having to deal with anyone. I feel like our karma brings us together, and then we use the opportunity to listen to each other, to be generous, to be kind. Then second, although we have our different cultures, different expressions and perceived personality traits, they're relative and they're changeable, but really we're all the same. We're all the same in wanting to be happy, not wanting to be, to suffer. It's at that level, seeing us all the same, that I meet with friends, old or new or whoever. No, not really. I don't dislike any of my activities or duties. But of course, sometimes the conditions might not be ideal, like too hot or too cold, or like now, almost everyone, except for those who are in a long retreat somewhere, almost everyone, has to accept the conditions that are anywhere from inconvenient or restrictive to, very challenging and stressful due to the pandemic. Whatever the conditions, I try to look at the bright side. Even if the only bright side we can see is the chance to practice patience. Because life is too short, and we just can't waste time letting outside forces beyond our control decide whether we'll be happy or sad. When we have the natural ability to awaken calm and happiness inside. Maybe as a Buddhist, I should say that I want to go back to a time where, to meet the Buddha or any other great masters, but for me, no. I don't really feel that way. Maybe it's weird, but if I had to choose, I would choose the present moment. Because for me, everything is complete here and now. Dharma students do I like? For me, we are really Dharma friends. I'm a friend who happens to get asked to give teaching sometimes. But for me, first and foremost, my role is to be a friend. I like to be sincere with my friends, so when my friends are sincere too, of course, there's a strong sense of trust and connection. So yeah, that's all. I became vegetarian in my teens, so my whole adult life I have been vegetarian. And it's just a way of life that I love. Although I share with my friends the benefits of, that I feel in being vegetarian, like for health or, ecological benefits, animal welfare benefits, and so on and so forth. And I also wrote some statements that for some charities when they asked. I don't make it a mission about it or try to force it on others, but just by an example. And I guess maybe a little encouragement, but not too pushy. I said that? I don't really remember. I guess I equate keeping it simple to keeping it real. Being an honest, straightforward, and caring person. When we're honest and kind, we are trustworthy. So we attract more friends and life feels much lighter. So yeah, maybe that keeps us young at heart. Stickers? Oh, like GIFs, whatever they're called. I don't really use them so much myself, but of course I see them and they can be funny, they can be cute. I suppose any of them that can bring a smile to our friends is a good sticker. I don't know if this counts, but although I did say earlier that I had been to Tibet, but there's still many parts there that I still haven't been to and that I like to visit. So that would be my number one. Places I've never been, well, transit many times, but that doesn't count. I would like to see Japan properly, especially some beautiful temples there that I learned about. Also, I'm always fascinated by the places that have a very ancient civilization, like Greece and so on. But I've got a lot of invitations from my kind friends in many countries that I have not been before. So, as they want me to share the Dharma there. So all those places I hope to visit to fulfill their requests, and whenever that's possible. I had all sorts of ideas as a child. I used to get them after hearing the legends of our ancestors and all the amazing activities, the amazing magical feats that they performed. So I wanted other people to see the way how I imagine in my head. For us, the amazing things that the Sakya Komas did are a matter of fact, like Lubusunum Semo, who melted his body into a rainbow and teleporting to Kechara, which is a pure land. Or when the wild Bamo guardian spirits, escaped from Sakya and headed to Lhasa, creating a great storm. And the government had to call Tujinwangdu Nyingbo to run and catch them and take them in a magic chain. And there's so many different stories like that. To a modern audience, I suppose everyone would classify that as science fiction or fantasy. But for Tibetans, it would be a documentary reenactment. Anyway, I don't think I can do it now, but I've always liked the ideas of that, a traditional Tibetan legends of our ancestors, with all the CGI showing the magic and, like in modern fantasy movies. And many other, Dharma stories. Oh, that's easy. Pizza. This video all started with because one of my young friends, asked his mother to email us to find out what was my favorite pizza topping. And so since he knew I loved pizza, he asked me what was the favorite topping. So I told him that it's mushroom, sometimes a little bit of sweet corn and pineapple. Although some Italian friends have told me that putting pineapple onto a pizza is like sacrilegious to them. So I'm a bit shy to admit about that since then. When I moved to India, and I was still very young, in the first few weeks, I missed having pizza. And so I pleaded with my maternal grandmother, we call her Ai, who was taking care of me. So I pleaded her to make it for me sometimes. So that time, being in a rural village on a hilltop, it was hard to get the right ingredients around that area. So, but she just tried her best to do whatever she can to make whatever we had. So the base was like a cross between an Indian roti and a Tibetan amdo bread, and on top of that some chopped tomatoes and salt. We could never get oregano or mozzarella cheese and so on. So just the cheese we could get locally. So my grandmother, she made it with so much love. I'm sure most people who saw it would think that it's nothing like a proper pizza, but for me, even to this day, it was, and it's still the best pizza that I've ever had. No, No, I don't. I don't have any long-term plans for life after 5 minutes, let alone 30. I try to focus on the present, living in the here and now. So I don't have much impetus to fantasize about future scenarios, as I like to live in the present moment. What my teachers really encouraged me all the time that I grew up, and even now, is to make use of my youth to study very diligently, to learn, to enrich my potential in helping others. That has always been my motivation, and I can only encourage my friends to heed the same advice. Making the most of every day that we have for learning, for developing our brains, and most importantly, for developing our hearts. Buddhist education, that's what it's all about, and that's my passion. Okay, I'm really curious about the person who asked this question, because all those examples, I had all 3 of those in my room when I was little. The dark, we often had power cuts, and when that happens, then it's like total pitch blackness. I couldn't see anything. But that was more of an inconvenience than frightening. So no, mice, we had many of those. We had many mice, running around, running over in my bed, the tables, the chairs, the shrine. I thought they were cute. Oh yes, and one day, my grandmother, Ai, when she woke me up, she went to fix my bed. She found out that there was quite a large snake, crawled up under my pillow. So it was sleeping with me the whole night. I guess that was a bit dangerous. But no, it didn't really scare me. Well, once there was a leopard that came to our village. So I heard the people talking about it, so I got really worried and scared. So I ran and climbed up this big tree and spent the whole night, sleeping on the big branch of that tree. After I think around after midnight, then I could see the lights of the village in the houses, so I followed the lights back to my house. But later on, I found out from watching nature documentaries that leopards actually climb trees and they actually sleep on big branches. Oops. But even then, I guess it would be, it was wise to be scared. But I think I saw it as more like an adventure. Maybe that's why I don't have any particular phobias right now. It depends, really, whether I am traveling or doing Dharma activities, or if I'm remaining in the temple focusing on my own studies. But wherever I am, I like to wake up early and start my day with some meditation. Of course, after I wash and get dressed. Over here, my friends Gompo and Kunga, they prepare some very delicious, healthy breakfast for us. And right after that, I study on my own. In the monastery, the monks eat just before noon, so we tend to follow that too. And in the afternoon, I either have some more studies to do and some Dharma practice to do, or whatever activity I'm engaged in. I usually do my daily exercises in the afternoon too. When I'm traveling or outside of my own place, then I usually have a very light supper. But if I'm staying at the temple, then I don't usually have, I don't eat in the evening, which gives me more time to do my meditation that I do before I go to bed. It really varies depending on what I'm doing. Like if I'm receiving some special teachings from my gurus, or giving teaching myself somewhere, or doing a long Dupchu ceremony over many days, which may take around like a few hours each day. So yeah, I gladly adapt my routine around that. So yeah, I can't say I have one type of regular day. No, not really. We have official pages on social media to let our friends know what's going on and what activities we're going to do. Our staff and friends, they often show me these interesting posts to know what's going on. As you know, most of the news these days tend to come from social media. So yeah, that's what I look. But no, I don't hit any likes or anything. So the thing is, I really only read Dharma books that are in Tibetan. So yeah, I read a lot, but I'm not sure which of them have been translated into English, Chinese, and other languages, and which haven't. So there's so many that I could recommend, but if you're asking me that what I benefited from a lot, then, well, again, so many. But the one that I always take with me wherever I go, and it will even be at the bedside table or in my hotel room when I'm traveling, is called Tube Gongsa, Elucidating the Muni's Intent by our ancestor Sagepetita. It covers the whole Mahayana path, but gives special focus on how to develop bodhicitta. So that I really cherish, and I would recommend if anyone can actually do some research and for the available translations. Storybooks, well, I don't get time anymore to read English storybooks anymore. So in my English classes that I had a few years ago, I had to read Shakespeare, Charles Dickens, and I studied A Midsummer Night's Dream and David Copperfield, which I really enjoyed. When I was a lot younger, I read a lot of English fiction books like the Hardy Boys series, Harry Potter, Percy Jackson, and a lot of manga graphic novel series that I really enjoyed. It actually started with when some of my young friends asked me to explain how to sit in meditation. So the first time I explained from memory of the 7 points on. It was quite quick and easy to explain to do because as I was trained. But my friends couldn't remember it all and had to check the way they were doing that actually whether or not it matched the correct explanation. So when they checked, I realized that they were struggling with it a bit. So I ended up explaining again, but this time getting Gompo to demonstrate at the same time, which ended up involving a lot of laughter. But they told me that because they enjoyed it so much, they now know how to keep the correct posture very well and never forget. So that gave me the idea that if I made videos, a video about it, then it could help the same way. So I went to check on my teachers and they said it's all good. So I made the first video on meditation posture. After that, each video was a response to a question that a young friend has asked. So, and then I just contemplate that what's the way that we can explore the answer that we can all enjoy, but also could inspire us. It can inspire us to take it to heart. And if I get an idea, then I call my brother and Gompo to tell them that we have got what we have planned, and together they help make it all happen. Every day I do physical exercises to maintain my health. It usually takes me about an hour. Sometimes, if I have the chance, I also enjoy swimming or jogging. But on a regular daily basis, I do a program of exercises that work for me, and as a way for my for a healthy comfortable body to support my body, my health, and my mind. Red. It's always been red. That I really can't say properly. Because I guess all of my wishes fall into the extraordinary category. Like, wishing everyone to be well, to be happy, to be free from suffering. But I suppose if we talk about the present moment, then naturally the wish comes from making the most of life, being kind, being generous, bring joy to others. Other than that, well, right now I guess I have an ordinary wish to have some snacks. To be honest, candies. Oh, I don't know. I enjoyed quite a lot of different movies. I suppose as a young boy, my favorite film was Spy Kids and Lion King. After that, then there are quite a few films that I saw that I found very powerful and moving, like what was it? Life is Beautiful, Three Idiots, and movies like that. And films that I had great fun, watching with my friends, like the monks and so on. Of course, all Marvel movies. Well, we didn't really grow up together, as I came to India from a very young age. When I moved to India, he was a baby, and he didn't settle in India until way much later. So we only really get to spend time together, to actually see each other like once a year when we were younger. But sure, I think we might have had some silly play fights, but nothing serious. Now, of course, we couldn't even pretend to fight, as we are like best buddies. What's that? Oh, like annoying things. Yes, one. When people misuse Buddhist philosophy, like projecting it onto what people are saying to basically not have to deal with it with patience and compassion. Saying everything is emptiness, everything is impermanent, just let it go, which doesn't really help anyone to actually let go of. It certainly isn't being present with another person's pain. So yeah, that would be my pet peeve. Soulmates. Yes, I can go along with that. Exact definition of that term might mean different things to different people, and it's not like destiny or fate, But I've met people who have a very strong, deep connection from previous lives with each other, and of course, it's natural to care deeply and support with great commitment with each other when there's that kind of bond. I feel though that the Bodhisattva's path means trying to awaken that those qualities of deep care and commitment to all sentient beings. So in that way, not in a romantic way, but we make ourselves soulmates to everyone. No, not the kind that haunts me. Not because I don't care of if I make mistakes or anything. No, that would be awful. But because my gurus taught me to make purification, part of my daily practice, and that involves bringing up a very strong but very healthy sense of regret of for anything negative, and the fully purifying it so it doesn't have it doesn't leave residues that causes us to feel an unhealthy guilt, rather a sense of responsibility, a responsibility of our own karma of body, speech, and mind. and a responsibility of our own well-being. Oh, I never get bored of my meditation. But that's because in our tradition, the kind of meditation that we do is, it comes from our gurus teaching us exactly what will work for us individually. Like a customized daily practice. So yeah, I feel very fortunate that my gurus guided me that what meditation would be more effective for me. So to do daily, and I really cherish that. So in that way, we never feel bored. I don't have a particular genre that I like best. So I suppose I have varied taste in music, but yes, sure, there are favorite songs that I developed to like. For example, like Fireworks by Katy Perry, Drama by Yadong, Naughty Boy by Pentagon, Beli Nazar Mein by Atif Aslam, Lashu Ai Thami by whoever the singer was. I mean, there were too many different versions of it. Songs by Frank Sinatra, Linkin Park, September, was it? Oh, of course, Backstreet Boys. For me, this is normal. I just got so used to wearing robes since I was a young boy. So I don't wear Western clothes or anything like that, except if I'm, swimming or exercising. But otherwise, I'm completely comfortable with my robes. No, I'm not a monk. That's why I don't shave my head, and my low robe is white. These aren't actually monks' robes. They're the robes that the non-monastic members of our lineage wear. My brother is a fully ordained monk, so that's why he shaves his hair and, he wears proper monk's robes. Like alcohol. No, I don't drink. I keep the 5 precepts of Vasaka, a lay practitioner, so I don't drink any alcohol. Which for me, it really works to support my lifestyle that I enjoy. No, he doesn't. The monks don't do it. Believe it or not, a professional does it when necessary. Although, these days I'm just letting it grow. So I've not had a barber visit for quite a while. I've known him since, he moved to Sakya Heritage Society in Delhi as a young boy. What year was that?
2006.
Oh yeah, 2006. But back then I didn't actually know him so well. I just see him, during the holidays when we were playing around. But yeah, later on, when I was moving to Zongsar, we realized that it would be good to take another monk to help with our activities, and Gompo was chosen as everyone thought that he was such a nice manner and capability. Plus, he's actually the same age as me. Yeah, it wasn't like an audition to India's Got Talent or anything like that. So it became a long-term arrangement, and he's always been so helpful and supportive, and we became great friends. Yeah.